will make America great again.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a new live stream. We are here with a new setup today, testing out some new equipment. So if you saw the previous stream, you know that I had to end it real quick. Hopefully everything should be fixed and we should be able to get on with the stream. Everything should be working very well. There might be a small delay between the camera and the microphone. I can't fix that right now. I may be able to fix that another time. But everything else, other than that, more essential, should be good and running smoothly. And if it's not, please let me know. Okay. So, yesterday, what the stream is kind of about is a debrief from this right over here. This right over here. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the data gathered, the excitement guaranteed, because there was excitement, and we're going to talk about the steps forward and the future of the Starship program. So let's go over here and read what they gave us. What is this? Is this okay, gotcha, got it. Let me go and optimize this. Boom, boom. Other way around. Boom, boom, and boom. Let me grab this. And someone's calling me, so my camera just stopped working. Oh, great. 1 second. One second, guys. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to make a phone call real quick. Let me get this out of there. Let's talk about this. So, Starship's fourth test flight launched with ambitious goals, attempting to go farther than any previous test before, and begin demonstrating capabilities central to return and reuse of Starship and Super Heavy. The payload for this test was the data. Starship delivered. On June 6, 2024, yesterday, Starship lifted off at 7:50 a.m. Central Time from Starbase in Texas and went on to deliver maximum excitement. The Super Heavy booster lifted off successfully and completed a full duration ascent burn. Starship executed another hot stage separation, powering down all but 3 of Super Heavy Raptor's engines and successfully igniting the 6 second stage Raptor engines before separating the vehicles. Following separation, the Super Heavy booster successfully completed its flip maneuver, boost back burn to send it towards the splashdown zone and jettison of the hot stage adapter. The booster's flight ended with a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico 7 minutes and 24 seconds into the flight. Next, Starship's 6 second stage Raptor engine successfully powered the vehicle to space and placed it on the planned trajectory for coast. Starship made a controlled reentry Starship made a controlled reentry, successfully making it through the phases of peak heating and max aerodynamic pressure and demonstrating the ability to control the vehicle using its flaps while descending through the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds. Starlink is awesome. We all know that here. Starship ignited its 3 center Raptor engines and executed the first flip and landing burn since the suborbital campaign back in the 2020 and 2021 years. And soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. And this flight brought us towards a more rapidly reusable future, enabling transport to Moon, Mars, and beyond. So great stuff here. We're going to go through the video a little. We're going to talk about Tim Dodd's interview and another interview that just occurred today. Hopefully I can find it. Where did I have it? Right over here. And we'll talk a little through it. So let me watch on X. We'll show this amazing intro again. Where's it? Okay, enjoy the intro, guys. Oh, I forgot you guys can't hear anything. I broke something. I think I know what's wrong. Let me do this properties. So what's happening right now is it's looping. So I need to do this. Advanced audio properties. Monitor off. This monitor off, monitor and output. Boom. This should work now. Properties. Oh, I just rewinded it on accident. I do not know why that keeps happening. Let me see. Oh, okay, I get it. That's why. Okay, let's try this again. Enjoy the intro, guys. And that is the intro. And now I will skip to, that was too much. I will skip to around here and we will watch the liftoff and talk about it as it's happening. So, I think this guy who I have my cursor over is the launch director. Um, Although this guy has some authority too. I think he is the guy making most of the callouts after launch. And obviously Elon Musk and his child
And
right
that'll
here.
be completed over the next couple of seconds. We're coming up on.
So they said they didn't need to hold at all. And they knew that before. So let's go to the go for launch point, which is about 30 seconds.
Second mark. So let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington's going to take us through.
Flight Director, go for
one more
launch.
time for a Starship liftoff.
Detonation suppression system.
T-minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7,
Water deluge.
5, 4, 3. We have liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
So you'll notice there is one engine out. We're not sure why. We're not sure if it was disabled or experienced a rapid unscheduled disassembly, but either way, it was an isolated incident, and we'll talk more about how it was an isolated incident and how that's important, and we'll see another isolated engine incident in this flight and how it is extremely important that it was isolated.
The
Skip
32
forward
and
a bit.
33 engines lit on the super maximum aerodynamic pressure.
See that engine out right there. It's also important that it wasn't in the center ring because the center ring has gimbal authority and is more important for boost back and landing.
As we go uphill on the vehicle.
Yeah, the center 13 engines are the only ones equipped with TVC, and it is an electric TVC system. So it's the whole vehicle is pitching downrange, and that goes nominally to stage separation in about 10 seconds, but the timeline gets extended a bit because of that one engine out. And also something that a lot of people were pointing out is the engine opposite to it was throttled down, so that the gimbaling, it wasn't so off. Think about it. If one engine is off, the other engine on the opposite side is going to power in the direction of the engine out, and it's going to end up steering the vehicle while not meaning to. So they're throttling down the opposite engine to give more of a balanced effect to the gimbaling, even though those engines are not equipped with any TVC. The differential thrust steers the vehicle itself.
Down, they're going to turn off in bank, so you'll see the lights on the bottom left screen of the engines that are active start to turn off in different groups.
Oh, I apologize. My face cam was over the engines this entire time. There you can see the one engine out. And for the moment being, maybe right here is a good place. I don't know why I can't adjust this finally. Maybe that's okay. Temporarily. Okay.
Groups, and you'll see those three center ones lit.
And grid fins moving.
Cut off.
So the grid fins move in order to... So one may think that grid fins only work when the air is passing from the bottom up, or basically when you're falling down in the atmosphere, but grid fins also work the other way when the thrust from the ship is pushing the air, or the air through the grid fins the opposite way, from the top through the grid fins to the bottom, but they have to gimbal the grid fins in the opposite way that they would have if it was falling down through the atmosphere. Basically, if the air is going from bottom to up, you turn the grid fins in the opposite way as if the air is going from top to bottom in order to turn the vehicle.
Ship ignition.
And you see the camera there, and all that is passing through the grid fin and acting as not only thrust to get the ship away, but also thrust to gimbal the booster in preparation for the boost back burn. You see here, it's mainly these two, and it's pushing it this way, and you'll see right there, it falls back.
Stage separation.
And then the boost back, this I think is frozen, but you see all the 13 engines ignite, and right there you see it ignite also, and it flips, and the grid fins return back, and now it's going not complete retrograde, because complete retrograde from this position would be facing downward here. We're just trying to maintain, so we're not trying to decrease our altitude so much yet, because it kind of wants to glide back to the launch site eventually, not to the launch site today, but on flight 5, the reason it's the same attitude as Starship's belly flop, which you'll see a bit later. And it's so that we don't decrease the altitude so severely, because it has to glide back to the launch site, and we don't want to decrease that speed, the horizontal velocity, so fast just yet. Although it does face a little down, because we're not trying to go back in space.
Stage confirmed. Ship under its own power. Booster boosting back. Looks like all 13 are lit. Kate, we got a booster on the way.
Sorry to keep stopping, but boost back burn lasts about a minute, and I'll point out something soon.
Way back to the Gulf and a ship on the way to space.
Acquisition signal, Stennis.
Ship chamber pressures are nominal.
Ship power and telemetry nominal.
All right, the first stage currently performing the boost back burn. This is expected to last a little over 1 minute. This propels the booster back toward the coast, taking it.
Okay, so something you'll notice around here is 1,300 kilometers. That's where it's still going up, that 1,300 kilometers per hour. That is all upward velocity, but around 1,300 kilometers per hour is where they've completely negated the horizontal velocity. Think about it here. They're not adding any upward or downward velocity. They're letting gravity control that. All they're doing right now is negating the horizontal, and they're going to actually boost back a little, you'll see here.
To a landing in the waters of.
So right around here, it's going to stop going down.
Of Mexico.
The engines are still running, mind you.
As you can
see, they're going to boost back a little, increase the speed in the opposite horizontal direction, which is the direction it's facing right now.
On your screen and the bottom
and shut down to 3. So we have like a few kilometers per hour back in the direction towards the launch site.
Corner.
And now it's going to shut down to 3.
We were only.
And we're still going right around 1,300 kilometers in the upward direction. It's going to go up to 106 kilometers because we're still going upwards.
From here on.
Boost back burn shut down.
And shut down.
Confirmation there of good boost back.
It's going to go up even further to 107.
Burn shut down.
H2 tank pressures are nominal.
This allows it to even glide further back. You can see the ring right here. This is the HSR. the hot staging ring. Yeah.
Lots of
And basically what's separating these is the mass of the booster is so much greater than the mass of the hot staging ring. The ring is about 20,000 pounds. Yeah, 20,000 pounds, and the booster is around, right now with all the fuel in, probably, so let me think. There's 3,400 tons of fuel when it's fully fueled. So right now it's probably around 500 tons, I'd say. So it weighs a lot more than this ring, which
excitement.
separates
So
it.
right here, this is our view of the help reduce lighter weight
And
integrated
now it's just gliding.
hot stage
But now it canceled out the vertical velocity also, and now we're falling back
structure that
towards
won't
Earth.
need to be jettisoned. That hot gulf and attempt for a splash. Good news.
And there's a flip using the reaction control system through autogenous pressurization.
Their trajectory is looking at this point. They're landing sea level on your screen.
Viewed as a down, expecting in the
Oh,
water
so
to be
this is a camera of the dome at the top of the booster, and you'll be able to see here, I believe it's one of these, at 50 kilometers the grid fins start actuating, and you can see the motors here
again
start to move.
and an incredible view
Right there.
from the forward portion of the booster. This
Oh,
is basically
I'm
on
covering it again. I end up covering
top
here.
view from the expecting to begin, and an incredible view
Right
from the forward portion of the booster. This is basically on top of the super heavy booster where we have jettisoned that hot stage. So now we can see this incredible view of
So now it's redirecting itself to glide towards the proper direction. It was around 65 kilometers downrange.
Earth as it's making its way back down to the Gulf of Mexico. Right now,
This camera is looking upwards, and you can see the air passing through the
the
grid
booster is
fins.
using the 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric re-entry. And we are expecting that landing burn here.
So now we're at 15 kilometers and still going 4,000 kilometers per hour. And you'll notice here we're facing a bit not completely vertical. And this could be because it uses the body to slow itself down, and it doesn't want the engine section pointing completely at the ground because it could damage it from the sheer velocity. So it's using the thicker tank wall to slow itself down, create more surface area, and also not damage the engine section.
And we will be igniting 13 engines, and this is a great view. On your left-hand side is 3 views from the booster, and your right-hand side a view from the ship. And you can see those.
Okay, so now using
Griffin.
even more of that body now, and it's coming in at a very steep approach angle, and this was kind of seen in the animation of the catch of the tower. Bill Dill in the chat. So very steep angle of approach, and we'll see those engines ignite shortly.
On your left-hand screen.
Right about now. So we're going transonic right now.
Rotating.
And you'll see that engine start up 3, and then these. Let me re-watch that startup sequence.
And you can see those grid fins on your left-hand screen rotating.
Okay, so first the 3, then the 1. Okay, then this, and then. Okay, so it is a little off. It's supposed to be opposites, but it is a little
Turning.
off. And that may be because of this one engine right here that does not turn on. Don't think it rutted. I've gotten, actually, I'll show you 215 buildo. And then I'll show you some info I got from someone who works there who says they've disabled that engine for health reasons. But the guidance, T17 is buildo. Okay, cool. So other people are 215. I didn't. Tell me who, if it's not, just tell me who. So the guidance system has to compensate. I don't know why my camera is spinning around like that. The guidance system has to compensate by throttling up the opposite engine, which in this case would be this. Okay, I gotta shut off this feature. Let me do this. Boom. No. I guess I'm not shutting it off. Okay. So it has to compensate, and these are also gimbaling engines, so I don't know if it would throttle down the engine. In fact, it would throttle up. No, it wouldn't throttle up. It would gimbal. It would just gimbal to make up for it. Welcome Texiel to the stream. I did make the Dungeon Quest tutorials back in the day, and I do plan on making another. They're just so difficult to create, but I am I am making another one soon, hopefully. It's just a pain to make. Okay, let's continue. And we're at 1 kilometer right now, going barely below the speed of sound, which is around 1,200 kilometers per hour.
To guide the
And slowing down at 5 Gs.
booster, and there's that landing burn.
So, basically half the speed in 2 seconds. And shut down to 3 engines from the previous 12 out of 13. Yeah, so let me convert to American real quick. Okay, so it's about a little more than half. So just use that reference point.
That landing burn just begun, and you
Okay, so still 3 engines ignited, and we're basically hovering over the water right now. So then you'll notice a staggered shutdown, which I don't know if this was intentional because there's a big flame out over the ocean. You'll see. So 1 engine shuts down. I don't know what that was. But then the other 2 shut down. So during the original reentry portion, let me do that. 400 km, 2 mile, 4,000 I meant. So originally when re-entering the atmosphere, it's going this speed. And then the upper stage, let's go over here. It starts to re-enter at around, wow. Guess I'll refresh the page. Okay. It's the same part of the video it keeps doing this at.
Today, but
Okay. So, at around... Are we loading again? Are you kidding me? Let me decrease the quality.
it will have to perform.
Okay. Here we go, right around
In
107.
the
You
future.
can see this plasma layer start to form.
But right now we're getting closer to reentry.
As
Then it
much as they were
increases.
on flight 3. So that is a
Because the ship is in a near orbital velocity. Actually, it is orbital velocity. It's just in a suborbit. Its perigee is -10, I believe. So it's not quite in orbit. That's why it's re-entering the atmosphere at 27,000
Great.
kilometers per hour, which is 16,777 miles per hour.
sign, right? We have similarly to,
So-
for example, the serial number 10
Speed starts to decrease.
test that we saw.
And that flip maneuver should occur.
Right? It shows
Now this is not a normal color of plasma. It's interacting with the metal. So
that the iterations, the learn. Now, we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today. Absolutely. A little bit of indication there. We can see that
That we are getting a live view.
we're in the a nose first position. The nose cone is striking the atmosphere first, which is in an attempt to basically glide through the upper parts of the atmosphere and slow itself down before it enters the thicker parts of the atmosphere.
View of
there are
And our flaps have been steering the way, so eventually
And you'll see here the hinge joint is starting to fail.
performance
So this right here, this blue color is this is not normal either. It's a copper rich.
5 kilometers.
So it's very copper rich, and that means part of this metal area is burning. But it does
So again,
look cool.
what we're really looking at here is the performance of the heat shield of the flaps, of the seals in the flaps. Pointed out, we had closer and closer.
So you'll see here starts to come apart.
Looks like we got the flap starting to.
what a show.
this is which is incredible. Eye on the altitude in the bottom right hand corner.
Data is our sitting load today.
So it's going in from the inside and burning a hole through the flap.
We've been saying it multiple times. We're going to review what thoughts are. We will see.
Again, this is a test. Freaking close.
Expected on a level and recover.
Getting this first down
And-
into the
Okay, so transitioning to belly flop. Let me refresh one more time.
Dynamic pressure. Might,
Okay, slowing itself down.
I thought maybe vertical and
A little bit of use.
Okay.
Landing beam startup for Starship.
all right, good news there.
And you'll see this flap here. When Starship lands, let me pull up an SN10 right here.
Five in the flips.
Go. So you'll see here the flaps. The forward flaps stick out, and the leeward flaps, or the aft flaps, not the leeward flaps, the aft flaps, curl in. So basically what we're seeing over here.
Landing beam startup for Starship.
is this is an aft flap, and it is folding inwards. And it just falls off, I think. Yeah. So the flap falls off, and we're now at a very low speed, probably on one engine.
Landing bird startup.
So it hovers for a second around 30 kilometers, which is a catch simulation, and then slows itself down to about a 0 speed, hits the water, which is the blue, and
Starship is in landing burn.
nominally
Landing burn, Shepard.
hits the water. And the engine sensors were kind of broken here. That's why it didn't appear here. Probably from the intense heat of reentry. But the engine sensors were broken, but the engine still functioned, and that's the important part. That might actually be the first ever fully successful landing burn, because even SN15 had problems with engine chamber pressure on landing, and it lost an engine on landing. It did successfully land with 2 engines, but it was supposed to have a 3-engine startup. Now, you can distinctly see at right around here,
Alright.
1, 2, 3. You could see 3 flashes of light.
Landing burn startup for Starship.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 in a staggered sequence. That means that there was a 3-engine ignition, which is the first time since SN10 that this was successfully done. And SN10 had an issue with one of the engines also, and it was going down too fast on landing. So this might be the first successful one ever, and it's the first one tried on a Raptor 2 engine and a tiled vehicle with vacuum engines. So let's go over to it's funny. So flying tiles, but it still made it. And where is it? Right over here.
The hinge gap, and sealing that hinge gap, and not having hot gas just go flowing super fast through the
interface there.
Yeah, at where the flap hinge is.
Yep.
Because if you get hot gas flowing through rapidly, that'll cook anything, including the tiles. So you've got a block. We've got a hot gas seal at the forward and rear flap hinge, and so. One of the key questions is, does that seal work?
Right.
We think it'll work, but it may not work. Then there are some, questions of like, how well do the tiles stay on?
Right.
There's a fundamental challenge here where the tiles are ceramic, so they're very brittle. They're like a coffee cup.
Right.
Or a dinner plate.
Yeah.
So you've got essentially a whole bunch of dinner plates stuck to a steel surface.
So it was a weak point, and it did fail. And then we have this new, let me go back here. New tour.
Very well, and
Not tour, more like Q&A after the launch.
the SpaceX team done an incredible job.
Talk about the views from Starlink. I want to give a shout out to Starlink. It powered my live stream, and obviously the 3+ million people who watched on X.
Yeah, we actually had, I think, 16 video feeds or thereabouts from Starlink, some of which were external, most of which were internal, just looking at the internal systems for kind of debugging issues. And yeah, we had almost continuous Starlink coverage. For the next flight, we making some adjustments to Starlink, so we'll actually have completely continuous the entire way.
I'm sure everyone at home would love that. Would you say that 4th time is the charm, maybe, for SpaceX as we look at Falcon 1's history?
The 4th launch was certainly great. I mean, 3rd launch was solid too. I mean, we did make it to orbit. by normal standards, that would be a success on the third launch. For this launch, we hit 2 key reusability milestones, which was having the booster boost back to a precise location and execute a landing burn and land softly in the water, which it did, and getting the ship to go all the way through the super high heating of reentry, where it's coming in like a meteor, and then maintain control subsonically, and land in a pretty precise location. Well, it was technically 6 kilometers off geographically, but the ship was able to maintain control and then relight the 3 Raptor engines for landing. So that's a super successful day. Yeah.
As you were watching, people are saying on X, the little flap that could. What was going through your mind?
I was surprised that the flap lasted so long. So it's because it's once the heat shield tiles are gone, you really just have bare steel, which is mostly the sort of SX300 steel alloy, and it was actually quite surprising how well the steel held up despite the extreme heating.
Yeah.
So I thought the flap would fail because it's not supposed to be able to survive, but it did.
I think a lot of us were surprised. Does that validate your choice to use stainless steel?
Yeah, absolutely. If we'd used carbon fiber or aluminum, they both would have failed due to high heating.
Now, we saw you post on X that maybe Flight 5 you'll attempt to catch. What do you think is the likelihood of that?
Well, I need to regroup with the team and confirm that there aren't any other known issues, but I think given that the booster came back, came to a precise location, came to essentially a zero velocity landing on the ocean, I think we should probably try to catch it with the tower arms on the next flight.
Absolutely. I was lucky enough to take a tour of Starbase, and it's amazing that you guys are able to manage construction and production at the same time. Tell me about the team down here at SpaceX.
Yeah, well, we've always done, we've been doing continuous construction of the factory and the launch site while doing development of the rocket. That's been the case, ever since we came out here. I mean, for 3 years, this was my primary residence. I lived here kind of building up the Starbase factory and launch site from basically nothing, from just being a sandbar. And we're just trying to figure out how to work with stainless steel as opposed to aluminum, lithium, and carbon, and how to deal with methane as a cryogenic fuel instead of kerosene or refined jet fuel. So, so it's really always been a case of build the factory, build the launch site, and keep developing the rocket.
And if people have never been down to Starbase, this is much more than a factory. You're trying to maybe build out a city. Can you tell me more about your vision?
It's not, a city would be a strong word, but
okay.
Maybe a small town.
Does having a young workforce benefit SpaceX by not having preconceived notions?
Well, we have people that range from, sort of 70 to 18. So it's really a wide range. I don't know about age. I mean, really, it's a question of mindset. Is somebody gung-ho about the future and wanting to drive advanced technology as fast as possible? That can be true at any age.
What kinds of missions do you think SpaceX could accept that will act as development stepping stones towards Mars?
Well, we're seeing the development stepping stones to Mars here, which is the fundamental breakthrough that is needed for life to become multiplanetary is a fully and rapidly reusable rocket. So that means the boost stage and the upper stage or ship must both come back to the launch site and be immediately able to fly again with no refurbishment. This has never been accomplished. The closest that anyone's ever gone is Falcon 9, where the booster comes back and is quickly available for flight in really less than a week. And the fairing or nose cone is also refurbished for flight. The only thing that's lost is the upper stage. So in terms of, Falcon 9 is the first rocket ever to demonstrate commercially feasible reusability. In fact, or another way of saying it is reusability that actually mattered and was useful.
Right.
Now, Falcon 9 still, we lose the upper stage. So Falcon 9 is about 80% reusable, but it's also not rapidly reusable in terms of enabling immediate reflight. So with Starship, the whole thing will be reusable, and it's designed for immediate reflight. That's a very profound thing. That is the fundamental thing that is necessary to make life multiplanetary. I would put everything else in the category of being really a different order of magnitude of difficulty. I don't think it will be very difficult to survive on Mars, frankly. I think it'll, from a technology challenge standpoint, that is small compared to full and rapid reusability. We live on a planet with a deep gravity well and a thick atmosphere. This makes full reusability extremely difficult. If gravity was even 10% lower, it would be easy. And if it was 10% higher, it would be impossible. So, it's not as though prior rocket designers, it's not like people before me didn't realize that reusability was a thing. Wernher von Braun was actually big on reusability. He really wanted to push a reusability design. And he was a brilliant guy. And he had many sort of design ideas for that, as did others. But thus far, for whatever reason, no rocket organization has been able to execute on reusability until SpaceX. And Starship is the first rocket design where full and rapid reusability is in fact possible. Because what this does is drop the cost of space transport by at least 100-fold, maybe 1,000-fold. So it's a gigantic difference, as it would be for any mode of transport. If it was cars, horses, bicycles, airplanes, imagine if you needed to get a new airplane with every flight.
Right.
Air flight would be impossible for almost anyone.
One thing that never ceases to amaze me is there's not enough people that really know what's going on with Starship, and why is it important to generate public interest?
It's not, I mean, I do think we want the public on our side and supportive, but we're not trying to maximize public awareness. I think a large portion of the public is aware of it, and I think when we start taking astronauts to the moon, and especially Mars, everyone on Earth will know about it.
At what point do you think it would be safe for people to bring or have children on Mars?
Well, I think you can have children on Mars as soon as you're able to. I wouldn't bring children initially because it's dangerous. The first flights may not succeed. It's a hazardous environment, so, but I think within, I don't know, less than 10 years of the initial landings, I would expect that it's safe to bring kids.
Do you think that you'll go to Mars in your lifetime?
Depends. If I live long enough, then yes.
I just want to say that I am so incredibly grateful for Elon Musk taking some time to talk to me on the same day of IFT4. It was already such an amazingly successful day with the launch that we got of the SpaceX team.
Okay, that was it. So we should be getting the other interview sometime in the coming weeks. But, oh, and there's a part 2. Awesome. Cool stuff. So that is, ooh, okay, we got another angle of the landing.
That landing burn! That landing burn just begun, and you can see the water below.
Awesome. Yeah, that should be about it. I want to test out hopping in a game real quick with the new equipment. Let me, what game should we do? Let's see, what game? Let's do... Oh, I know what to do. Cool. Let's load it up. Okay. And let me do this. Why is that not correct? That's strange. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let me try doing this and this. Awesome. It works. Okay, let's test it out. Cool. Let's do this. Boom. Let's get some sound, audio. Video. Beautiful. Okay. Let's launch it. Boom. Do this. And this, and now attitude controller off. Okay. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and go. Cool, hot staging. Let's do a little of that and this. Oh no, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. It's fine, it's fixable. It's fixable. It's fine. I think. Okay, so now I gotta oh, okay. Let's do something like that, and 3, 2, 1, and boom, and then HSR jettison, and then starting of the flip, and RCS off, grid fins off. So now we have that shot from the forward dome right here. I want to see if the, yeah. Cool. So now we have around 100 tons of propellant left, which is a bit much. I'll actually do a little more RCS. Awesome. So now we're actually going down. We were gliding for a while there. Oh no, are we gonna okay, are we gonna crash into the hot staging? Oh, let's get that RCS. I don't want to crash in the HSR. Okay, we're fine. Oh, that clearance was not good. Okay, continuation of the flip. Let's lock it around there. And we'll switch to grid fins now. A little RCS. Apparently we still need RCS. Let's switch to that camera. Let's get ready. More retro. Ignition. 2, and do that, and more retro. Okay, we're gonna run out of fuel. I'm just gonna give myself a little more fuel. And I'm going to do that for a hover. And splashdown. Splashdown, perfect. Okay. Let's see what we can do with the ship. Why? Oh, okay, our engines are no longer running. Let's do this. And wait, I can't even see this anymore. That should be a good attitude. And then a little up. Okay. It's gonna take us a while to get to re-entry. Okay. So I think that's where I'm gonna end the stream today. It was mainly just a test stream. We'll go back to Roblox tomorrow or whenever. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. And I will see you all in the next one. Let me test out some sound effects while I'm at it. That works. Okay. Cool. Does this work? I don't think so. Wait, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay. I don't want to get copyright. Okay. That works. That works. Okay. Awesome. Let me test out this. Oh, that's not gonna work. What about this? Okay. What about this? What about... What about that? Perfect. Let's go here. Boom. Awesome. What about this? That is not working. I want that to work. Fix it another time. I'll fix it another time. Sounds like a deal. I think that's it. Test. Okay, that is way too big. That's why we test these things out. Okay. So, I hope everyone has an amazing day. Camera's up there. Gotta look at it. I hope everyone has an amazing day. I will see you all in the next live stream, which we will go back to Roblox tomorrow. It should be. I'll see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe, and peace.